Hi guys, it's Sunny and Shay and welcome to our podcast Unfiltered with Ruckus Avenue Radio. We have been meeting with an array of fantastic guests while we're based out in Los Angeles. We are recording at the Hollywood Walk of Fame here in the Dash Studios. So really excited to meet our next guest, who I know a lot of you know, but Sunny and I being from the UK, we've heard of him from a distance. It's really nice to meet him.
He's in the studio
He's
now.
in the studio.
That's
he's
what's
here.
And the only reason
as
he's
bright as he can be. Like, you cannot miss this guy.
Because that's his brand, man.
That's
this is
the
what
brand.
I'm talking about.
We're really chuffed to introduce to you and to us, of course, as well, Amith Boteju. He is a musician, businessman, and philanthropist. Amith, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank
you.
Thank you
for joining us.
Shay gave you a brilliant intro. You should do some words there. And one word comes to mind: hustler. Have you been called a hustler in the past?
I have.
You have?
Yep. I think the word hustler comes from my humble beginnings. My mother, obviously, definitely want to give a lot of credit for her. I seen her work. I seen her hustle her way up, and just from flipping things from free things from on Craigslist to she'll get a couple of free things from there, and then she would turn that and she would sell
upcycle it and then get it out there.
And I saw that from her at an early age, and just always kept with me. But obviously hustling the right way, right?
Of course, that's what I mean by hustler.
It's a good thing. Hustling, it's a good. For us in the UK, anyhow. I don't know how it's perceived here, but for us, Sunny and I hustle on a daily basis in terms of the work that we do, the networking, and obviously there's a massive brand behind what you're building. I mean, if anyone follows you on social media, you're constantly with the huge stars from Snoop Dogg and many others, and so clearly, the music is a passion, but the business, and often people will talk about behind music, it's around business. It's the music business for a reason. So is that something you yourself as an artist, as a businessman have had to really master and get a full understanding of?
I think, you have to, in this era and the world we're living in right now, I think it's very important for me to, quote unquote, let people know how important business is, whatever you're doing in life, right? Especially for me as us brown people, we got to know the game. We got to know, what we're signing in these contracts. We got to know how to negotiate our deals. And so for me, it was very important because you could do music and you could, make songs. And I know plenty of people that's in the studios and, they'll upload their stuff to YouTube or other distros, but then they just don't know because they're missing a huge component to where how the music gets to the consumer.
Right. How do you make that connection? How do you then make that actually profitable?
A sale,
as well?
right? A transaction, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it was very important to understand the pipelines of how we take it there. So with that being said, it was, for me, I had to go back to the internships of the world. I started with guys like Akon, Mark Pitts. I had to give credit to those individuals because they taught me. Sitting back, I was watching how they market the music, how to get it, and especially scale. Because I'm a kid from Sri Lanka. I'm here in America, doing American music, but I have a much more of a broader audience, right? I could go to UK, I could go to Sri Lanka, India, crossover.
Exactly.
So it's you have to start small and you have to learn the business and you have to learn how to scale. So business is a huge part.
When you look at these individuals, like Akon is very big in Africa, across Africa, and he's very much part of the business, but also the charitable side of it as well. I mean, he's doing amazing work out there. Is that something that he also taught you about, the philanthropy that you do as well, like give back to the communities and
social impact.
And the social impact that you have?
The philanthropy side came. It's always been in my heart for me to help my people.
Right.
So me being in America and working on music and all that, and there was a huge at the point where I was learning about Akon. Obviously, I knew him from afar because of a legend. He is, and we all know he is to the world. So when I got to obviously know what he was doing in Africa with Akon Lighting Africa and the solar energy projects. I knew him from afar away, and I was like, you know what, man, this is I want my people to have lighting. clean energy and renewable energy and the infrastructure, because I mean infrastructure is the key to anything in life, right? Like what is a house without clean water and energy, right? It's an empty home. You can't operate. So for me, I was like, you know what, I wonder, would Akon listen to me if I say, hey, you know what, big bro, I want to do an Akon Lighting Sri Lanka project. What would it look like? And so my approach wasn't, when I met him, it wasn't about music. It was about trying to help my people.
Nice.
So do you think that's why he resonated with that? Because, to be honest with you, most people, when they're in the music industry, the hip hop genre, pop culture, it is really about brands, and, it's about being flashy.
Get that hit. And all that
getting
kind of
hit. Whereas actually for you, you're saying, no, I'm a guy from Sri Lanka who wants to give back to that community, though I'm not there. You want to be able to help those youngsters and those families as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I have a responsibility. I have a huge responsibility. I feel like I was very fortunate to, I have an American passport. I could travel to many countries just with the e-visa, and I don't have to apply for any kind of visa, just e-ticket, and I'm there. So I'm very grateful for that. And one thing is just understanding that, right? Understanding what God's given you as a blessing. And there's many kids in back home and in third world countries that don't have that opportunity to have an American passport or in such just the
freedom to move around.
Freedom, right? The freedom.
So let me ask you this. I mean, we've seen what's happened in Sri Lanka, right? And the way that things have been unfolding at this time. And
With
not
the
talking about the politics of it, but the people have risen and people have spoken.
Yeah.
And as a result, this is something that was boiling under the surface for a long time. The impact of the borrowing, the corruption, and also the what we saw with the pandemic and the horrible terrorist attack that happened that took away from the tourists, which they made the most of their money from. The country needs a lot of healing and need leadership.
Of course.
Where does your, take come on to help the people that you are interacting with in Sri Lanka, but also the young people that you talk about who are very much in a country where there seems like there's no hope, but there's always hope. From something that's gone so dark, there's only ways going up. So where do you land, not politically, but in a way where you can help heal and have this next generation give them that power?
So, I think it starts with, for me, projects like renewable energy, bringing infrastructure to Sri Lanka. As there's a lot of technology around the world that Sri Lanka is not aware of. So for me, it starts with, God giving me a blessing to meet individuals that are doing great, innovative things. And for me to see which technologies and which, products that I like, that I see that could possibly be beneficial for my country, and possibly, taking them back and, talking with, the governments. I've had multiple conversations with the previous president. I sat down with them and just even the renewable energy. And not to throw any shade, but the vision is missing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
the vision.
And we know why now, right?
Yeah.
Because there was certain things that they didn't want come into that country because it will take from the back ends that they were benefiting from. And this is something that's coming out in light, and the more reports are coming out of this kind of corruption that was happening at the higher echelons. Hence why they're not there now. So with that in mind, you've seen that now, right? You've had those conversations with those individuals. Your work as an artist and all of that. How does that get impacted as well? Because it all connects, doesn't it? It's all a connection with even your brand that you put on.
So the brand is called
Born in Sri Lanka.
Born in Sri Lanka. I was obviously early stages of pushing my music very hard. I wanted to represent my country to the fullest.
Right.
But in a cool way, not just have a Sri Lankan flat flag and just be like, hey, you know what? Like, I wanted to just kind of reinvent how people look at Sri Lanka and give our kids and the youth the confidence that, hey, you know what, we could have a Kanye West type of looking edgy type of brand, but it's representing our country.
Nice.
So I wanted to create that, and I went to the drawing board, and everywhere I go, but you know what, everywhere I went, like when I started traveling, what I started seeing was that there was a lot of individuals. For example, I would go through clearance through customs, and putting my shoes on the whatever the X-ray thing is, and then taking my backpack off, and then I would have different cultures of origins of people. They'll look at my shirt or a hoodie that I have on. They'll be like, born in Sri Lanka, and they'll be like, are you Sri Lankan? And then it just starts a conversation.
Yeah.
And
I said that to you outside, didn't I?
You did.
Like before we came in, I was like, oh, I really like your shirt.
Yeah.
So it's like a talking point for you.
It is. It's very important that I touch on my country and my people everywhere I go.
Ruckus Avenue Radio.
I find it quite unique because for people who can't see the visuals, here you are sat in the studio wearing a born in Sri Lanka top, branding, but then you've got an LA hat,
of course,
you've got in my perspective the most quintessentially American accent ever. So like when you go back quote home to Sri Lanka,
even
how
Dallas doesn't sound that American.
Even Dallas doesn't sound as American as you sound. And so like when you go back to and rightly so back home to Sri Lanka, how do they react? Are they like, hold on, mate, you're American now, or do they? I just wonder how that reaction is for you, because we were speaking to one of our other guests about this. Like Sunny and I, as you can tell, we sound very quintessentially English. However, we are Punjabi. You can tell from our skin tone and the way that we look. But when we're in Punjab, they think we're English. When we're in England, they think we're Punjabi. So like, how is that for you?
You know what? I go back home, and first of all, I can speak the language.
Oh, that's good.
Thank God for that.
With your American accent.
I can speak the language. And can I speak the language very well? No, I've been in the States for 23, 24 years.
There you go. Yeah.
But
so you're fully American, mate.
I am. Yeah. So, but when I go back home, it's. I stay at a hotel and I have a driver, but I'll literally go downstairs, take a tuk-tuk, and go anywhere I want, because the thing for me is making sure that my people are constantly benefiting of me not paying some hoteliers that are from South Asia that came in to tourism and stuff like that.
You want to help locals.
So I want to help locals thrive, whatever I can at the moment that I'm there. If it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks for business, I'm always about not even just monetary, but just the conversation I could have with these individuals, the confidence that I could give them. Them being in a tuk-tuk with a kid that left Sri Lanka, 23, 24 years old, that still speaks the language, that still talks about the country and just reason with them.
The culture, the language.
It's very important.
So I guess I have to bring in your family at this point, right? Yeah. And one of the things from that part of the world, family is very important, right?
Of course.
How many times has your mum or your family or your aunties have tried to hook you up with someone when you go back
in Sri Lanka?
Every time you land, he's coming quick. Ladies, quick, come, yeah. Don't tell me I'm lying. Because you wake up in the morning in the hotel room, there's someone downstairs to meet you. So I didn't have no meetings, but there's
arranged marriages is there for sure.
How many have you dodged?
I've dodged a lot.
You can't even number.
I've dodged a lot, but I can say is that my mom. I've had sadly, I've had a 9-year relationship that my girlfriend passed away.
I'm so sorry.
To hear that.
No, thank you. Her name was Shannon, and she was originally from Vegas, a Sri Lankan girl.
Yeah.
She passed at the age of 22. I was 24 at the time.
Wow.
So for me, my mom knows me really well. My mom knows that, hey, you know what? Mom, if something comes along that fits my son, I know he's gonna take the right approach to it. So she doesn't push.
She doesn't push.
Yeah, but my brother is definitely the total opposite. He was arranged marriage, very well happy. Got a newborn that just came.
Wow.
But yeah.
So what are you, a chacha? What is
I'm the middle child.
So you're the mama.
Yeah.
No, the chacha. You're the chacha. You're the chacha. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because as much as you're here in LA, right? So this is something we're learning from everyone that we're talking to. How has this city shaped you? And if you weren't in LA, would you be on this path?
I don't think I would be, because LA and America itself has given me a platform for me to build relationships.
Right.
And relationships run the world.
Yeah.
I feel like, if you have the right relationships and with integrity and morals and values, just building not just for your own mutual benefits, but vice versa, right? Growth. And while you're growing, the other person is growing with you, and you're learning and making mistakes to the same time. I think I wouldn't be the same person, and that's
so
why.
LA is LA is LA?
Sounds like everything.
Yeah, I think
in terms
LA
of the
is
connections and network.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
is LA the place where you feel at home? Is this your town, or is there certain parts of this place which is so diverse that you say, no, I can't say about that part of West Hollywood, I can't say the Burbank, this is my area, this is where I feel home? Because it is so unique in the way that LA is set up, because it feels like you're going through different parts of the world when you do travel through it.
There's nothing like LA.
Okay.
For me, because I mean, for an example, I was in Kyrgyzstan a few months ago.
Okay.
That's by Central Asia.
Yeah.
And from there on, I from being in Kyrgyzstan for business, I got COVID, the last days of my stay, and but my mom was like, "Dude, you need to get your butt over back to LA. Like, you've been gone for about a month."
Yeah.
But I had a layover in Dubai.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure it out, and I couldn't leave.
Right.
I was stuck. I was stuck. But then when I got to LA and I got to the airport, I was like, man, there's the smell, there's nothing like it.
No,
and I appreciated it.
It's the weed smell, right? Just
That California.
I'm just playing. I know what you mean.
No, but that accent, have you grown up in LA or?
Yeah, I mean, so most of my life, so when I first came here when I was 10, my first best friend was black, so I was grown into the black culture, the African American descent, like, so I owe it all to the black community because they shaped me. They gave me they when I was getting bullied by white kids, I was just trying to find friends, and the only people that I could find is people that are at least close to my color, because I was getting bullied by the rest of them, right?
Yeah.
So, but hey, you know what? I'm so grateful for that, because that culture, especially the black culture, is a beautiful culture. I learned a lot from them, and that's one of the reasons why I don't have an accent, because I feel like I cut through to learn slang of how the music business and hip hop talk to where I just I inherited a lot of what they have going on, and I'm in debt for them and other people.
Only because we're running short of time. But what is the future? What is 2023 hold for you?
Yes.
A lot of great projects. A lot of projects back home, especially focused on youth. A lot of technologies that I'm bringing over to the country. Obviously, want to enhance on the renewable energy sectors of Sri Lanka. Music side, I have a lot of singles dropping, focused on very single-driven records. Few features. What else?
So you're a busy guy.
Yeah, man.
And you're growing the brand, Born in Sri Lanka.
I am. Yeah.
So I know you're here accompanied by, who's our lovely friend Michael? Who's that?
Oh yeah, that's Mike Tanko. That's the mark. That's
the main boss.
He's
Watching over our shoulder.
He's a great individual. Somebody. I mean, obviously he's in the marketing world. Done some very, very, very big things. But I mean, more so importantly, just a great human being. Being able to learn from him of how we look at things. Marketing, right? Like you need, like, if you have anything, it's all about marketing. It's all about how you show people. And this guy, man, he's the way he look at things is very clever, but it's authentic and it's real and it's genuine. So I've been learning a lot from him, and he's been, I've been very grateful to for him to give me the opportunity just to be around him and learn.
That's so cool, man.
Do you find that though, just finally, that it's really important? Because they usually say, like, especially in Los Angeles, this industry can eat you up, chew you up, and then spit you out, basically. Yeah. That you've got to surround yourself with the right people, because there are a lot of sharks out there.
It's all about, I mean, look, the team, I feel like, I don't know. I guess me being a Scorpio, I've been learning about myself.
Nice.
So as I'm learning about myself, I learn about other people. I'm very detail oriented. So how people live their own life is very important for me before I do business with them.
Right.
Right?
I like that.
It's very important.
You invest in the person as opposed to the product.
Right. Like, so for example, if somebody's messy at home, like they're gonna be messy in business.
Right.
It's just common sense. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
Like,
So what are you doing? Turning him checking in your house to make sure it's all tidy.
It's all clean, yeah. Is that the rental property you show everyone, right? Which is all slick as that.
The backdrop.
No, but I mean,
I understand what you're saying.
I'm not gonna be like that punishable to that person, but I mean, accountability is very important. So I feel like everybody, you have to be accountable. It's the big leagues out here. If you want to be a mega superstar, especially in America, where it's there's millions of artists, there's millions of rappers.
Everyone's
right?
ready to step in your shoes, man.
Right.
Yeah,
So how do you be different? How do you be yourself? But how do you still, have a niche on the market and understand the market? And it's so for me, I take it very seriously.
Love it. And I know that
Love
you're
that.
working in the future with Ruckus Avenue Radio. You might have some little spots here. So good luck with that, brother.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to hear what you're saying.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much,
And
yeah.
so,
Come to London. Do you
Yeah.
visit London? Or is
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah. I have a lot of Sri Lankan girls in London.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
to come
yeah.
say hi to.
please do, man. We'd love to.
There's a strong Sri Lankan community.
There is,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
very
they've been
established,
really,
very established community.
and they have been really nice to us as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, they have been
Yeah.
very supportive of Sunny and Shay.
Now the brand Born in Sri Lanka. How do we find out about that? If anyone wants further details and they're tuning in right now.
So the website is getting kind of reinvented a little bit, but Born in Sri Lanka, there's the social media Born in Sri Lanka online on Instagram. There's a Born in Sri Lanka Facebook. But the actual official website is going to be borninsrilanka.com. So
Watch out for that.
Watch out.
Yeah, watch
Absolutely.
out for that.
And people can follow you as well on Amith Worldwide, can't they? MAITH Worldwide for
Yeah.
all further
Yep.
details. You're going to post up everything there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
About.
absolutely.
Thank you, man.
A real
Yeah,
pleasure
such a
having
pleasure,
you with
Ron.
us.
No, thank you for having me.
And bigger and better things, I'm sure, for 2023. Amith Boteju, thank you for joining us on
Thank you.
our podcast. And if you'd like further details, check them out on social media. We'll see you on the next episode of Sunny and Shay's Unfiltered.
Later.